Hi there Year 9s and welcome to part 1 demonstration on how we can isometrically draw our maze design. Okay, and we're actually going to use PowerPoint rather than pen and paper. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to download, if you haven't already, you need to download the isometric paper from the PowerPoint. Okay, so it does take you to a link. You will need to download this and save it before you'll be able to edit it. Don't just send requests because I will deny them all. Okay, so download and save your isometric grid paper. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to have the basic outline for an isometric drawing of our maze designs. Okay, so today we're just going to look at the outline, and the next lesson we will look about drawing on the inside as well. Okay, so that's where you'll draw what maze routes you've done. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that now. Okay, so we don't need that to distract us. And if you follow my steps carefully, then you'll be able to do it as well. So with this demo video, just pause it when you need to. If you can split your screen and watch it alongside doing it, then do so. Okay, don't just watch the video and then do it. Okay, watch a section, do that, go back to the video, do that. Okay, I don't want you just sitting there the entire lesson just watching the video and then running out of time to do it. Okay, don't worry if you don't finish, because again, this video link will be included in the following lesson. Okay, so we've got our grid paper, we've saved it, and now we need to get our line. Okay, so we go on Home, and we go and click on Line, like so. You then click on the grey, and then this thin little blue line will turn up. Now the problem with this little thin blue line is that it blends in to the geometric paper. So we need to change its format. So you go Format, Shape, Outline, click on the arrow, and I want you to choose a sensible colour, as well as changing the weight or the thickness of the line. So I've used red and 2 1/4. Okay, you don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick, because if it's too thick, then it just loses. You just lose the you'll just lose the picture. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to start around about here. Okay, yeah, if you need to move it, I'll show you how to move it later. You just grab it all and shift it. Okay, right, so we've got my line. I'm going to start around about here. I'm going to zoom in, because I like to zoom in to count. Starting point, your edge of your line needs to start where all the lines join up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to count 17 across. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so now you should have a nice little long line like so. And looking at it, I'm definitely going to run out of room, but I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so then we're going to copy and paste our line. So I'll go through the different ways quickly now on how you can copy and paste. Okay, so if you know the shortcuts, click on your line, and on your keyboard press Control C and then Control V. So Control C copies, Control V pastes. If you've got a mouse, you can right click on the line, copy, and then paste. So you need to click the clipboard with an A. If you click the picture, you won't be able to edit the line. And the last one. So if you haven't got a mouse, click on your line, go over to Home. Down here, you've got the little paper, press copy, and then we click paste. But don't just click the clipboard. You need to click the arrow and then the clipboard with an A. Okay, right, so now that we've got our second line, we need to draw along the other 30-degree line, again 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like so. Then I'm going to copy and paste that line, join it up over here. As you can see, it's gone off. Copy and paste the other one, So then you should have a square that looks like this. So if you're like me and you've gone off the paper, we need to drag it. So click, hold, while still clicking, you need to make a box over all the lines you want to move. You're then going to click on one of those lines and we're going to move it along. Make sure that when you place it back on your isometric grid, that the lines line up with those 30-degree lines. Okay, so there we go. My square is now in the center of my page. Okay, it can be near the top because we're not going to go any higher. We're now just going to go lower. Okay, so make sure that you've got plenty of room below. Right, so now we've got our first square. So this will be the face of our maze, the top of it, you know, where our maze will be, what you look down into. So now we're going to draw the walls. So first let's do the basic outline. So copy and paste a line. If you click over here and get a new line, you're going to have to change the format again. So it's easier just to copy and paste the lines you've already created. So I'm going to join it up like so. Yep. Zoom on in. And what we're going to do for this vertical line is we're going to count down 1. No, I'm joking. We're going to count down 9. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I mean, if you want to go lower, you can, but I'm drawing it to scale, and it is 9 points down. You're going to need this line again, so you might as well just copy that and paste that one straight away. And what you're going to do is you're just going to join them up to each point of your maze. Okay, so as you can see, we're now making our square 3D by giving it 2 other faces. And I'm going to copy and paste this line to join it up, and the same with the other one, like so. Okay, so now we've got a basic 3D outline of our maze. So now let's start to add some detail. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add in our acrylic layer as well as the bottom point of our layer. I won't go into too much detail about this because you haven't made it, so it'll be a bit more difficult to understand. So you're just going to need to copy and paste these lines, and we only go down 1 block. And the same from the bottom, we're going to come up 1 block. If you want, you can do it thinner. Yeah, so it looks more realistic. But then you'll have to go on your own and not go by the isometric line. Okay. But it's fine because when you join it up, you can just join it up with those lines that you've done. Right, so I'll pause for a second. You should now have something that looks like that. If you want to, don't worry, you can just do it like 1 square thick, okay? Or if you want to go more realistic, then you need to make that a little bit thinner, like so. Okay, so this represents our acrylic layer. Yeah, and this represents the bottom layer, and these are the walls. Now the way that we join our walls is that we have 2 different sizes of wood. Okay, so on one side we're going to have where those wood joins up. So you're going to need to, well, first we need to adjust this line so it meets there. Oh, no we don't. Like so. Okay, so we've got another line. So this is where the wood will be. So I calculated it, it's going to be like 3 squares wide. Okay, so we do need to make this one shorter because it doesn't, this box here won't interfere with our 2 layers. Okay, so we do 1, 2, 3 squares across, and again from here 1, 2, 3, like so. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now I am aware that I'm going quite fast because obviously I've got the calculations in front, I've got my drawing in front of me with my numbers, and I've done this one before. So please don't hesitate to pause the video whenever you need to. I just give myself 15 minutes for each demo. So we'll see how much we can get through. Okay, so at this point, we've got a nice wall here and our box over here. Okay, so now we need to focus on the wooden frame on the inside. Yep. So to do that, what we're going to do is we need to follow along this wooden bit. So I know we've got the acrylic layer here, but honest to God, because it's acrylic, it's see-through, it's transparent, so it doesn't really affect how the rest of it's going to look. And also, that's verging on a bit more complicated side. So in short, we're now going to create the frame of our maze. Okay, so we've got the walls done and the layers, and now we're going to add in our frame. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to carry on this block of wood. So this is the side of it, and now we need to show the top of it. So to do that, we're going to grab one of these 30-degree lines, and we're going to line it up like so. Yeah, I'm not going to line up liking it. So visually, that is a block of wood. Okay, and then you can do the same over here. So we follow, I'll zoom in. So the reason I know how to line it up is, well, one, you can count 1, 2, 3, but two, I just follow along that vertical line to that point, technically joins up to that point like so. Okay, so we've got those two walls like that. Now we need to do our other ones. So copy any of the 30-degree lines, and you're going to count 1, 2, 3, like so. And again, I'm going to count 3 from this line, so 1, 2, 3. Now I don't know about you, but to me that square in the middle does look a little bit too small. So despite what I've just said, I'm actually going to move in my walls by 1, oh, it's really jumping around, isn't it? So move that up. There we go. Like so. There we go. Just make it a bit longer. Much better. So that sometimes happens in isometric drawing. You can make it to scale, but it will still look weird. So there we go. I think that looks perfect like that. So as you can see, I've just moved it in. So this is actually 2 squares rather than 3, and it looks so much better. Okay. Right. So we've got our walls, we've got our layers, and we've got our frame. Now the last thing I'm going to show you before you can then branch out and do this on your own is that we need to put in like the base plate. Okay, so this is where the maze will be, you know, where the maze game actually is. But don't worry, we're just going to be focusing on putting that base in there, and then we can do the maze route next session. Okay, so I'm going to need one of my straight lines, and we're going to line it up at that joint part here. Okay, so the box is actually this deep. Okay, but the maze does rest a bit higher, so I'm going to bring my line up to about here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3 down. I would suggest not going any lower than that. Okay, but you can go higher, so if you only wanted 2, so you can do 2 or 3. Okay, I'm going to stick to 3 for now. Okay, you can do 3 like me, and then I'm probably going to change my mind. And then we draw in those 2 lines. Yeah, I've decided I want it to. Okay, so stick with 2. If you've done 3, honestly, move it to 2. Looks better. Yeah, much better. Like so. Okay, there we go. Right, so it doesn't look like much, but we will leave it at that. I know looking at it, you don't fully understand it. It doesn't fully make sense. But once we start adding the maze in and some extra detail, so we could put the nail holes in over here. We can colour in these as shapes. We can make them into shapes. How long have we got? 15 minutes exactly. So next lesson, I'll show you how to either do the maze route or colour it in. But that's what we'll be focusing on the next 2 lessons. We'll be finishing off this maze route and shading. So I'll just zoom in one last time. So by the end of this lesson, this is what you prefer to have, but don't worry if you don't get this far. Signing off, thank you.